Hello everyone, welcome to the forum Chaotic Trials. Recently, I have often seen videos of foreign judges trying cases on the internet. The judges in the videos are very fair and righteous. They will first listen to the people, why they did these illegal things, whether they have a reason, any difficulty or misunderstanding, and then make the most appropriate decision from there. Therefore, they are often trusted and respected by the people. But in Taiwan, in the real life, there are many legal and tax persecution cases, and the most famous one is definitely the Taiji Men fabricated case. The well-known human rights persecution case has attracted the attention of international experts and scholars. As early as July 13, 2007, the Supreme Court had determined Taiji Men as not guilty and did not owe any taxes. But why hasn't it been resolved until now? Today, we have invited three young people. Although they are not yet out of the society, they have come forward to share their views about this important issue. The first one is Claire. Welcome.
Thank you, Monica. Hello, everyone. My name is Claire. Students switch to online classes as the epidemic continues to spread. As I'm sure many students are aware, they prefer to sit rather than stand in online classes, and they prefer to lie down rather than sit. Furthermore, if the professor does not request that the camera should be turned on, students will not do so. However, at the same time, we should consider our learning attitude of respect for the teachers, as well as the true purpose and the meaning of reading. My 师父, Dr. Hong Daozi, who taught me Taiji and Qigong, he also taught me that reading is to learn the truth of life, to be responsible for our conscience, and to learn how to improve their next better. At the very least, to have a clear conscience when all is said and done. In the book Li Ji also mentioned, a gentleman is wary of what he can see and terrified of what he can hear. So the gentleman is also cautious when alone. It means that people can be tricked with themselves in absence of others' presence and supervision, and not do anything against mortality, law, discipline, or against conscience. These are also the attitude that Shifu taught me. However, the National Tax Bureau ignored the court judgment of the Supreme Court, saying that Taiji Men is not guilty of fraud, tax evasion, or violation of Tax Collection Act. Moreover, the Taiji Men is Qigong and martial arts organization that is registered with the Ministry of Interior and is a tax-exempt organization according to the Taiwan law tax. Some people might ask, if Taiji Men has a tax problem, do other martial arts groups of the same nature have the same problem? The strange thing is, Taiji Men is the only group that has been wrongfully imposed. The chairman of the Chinese Martial Arts Association, Mr. Huang Kunguang, he had publicly expressed his support for the Taiji Men on numerous occasions, claiming that Taiji Men is a menpai of martial arts practice and that no martial art group in Taiwan has never been taxed before because of the money gives to Shifu. It's very clear that in the Taiji Men case, the government disrespect and discrimination against the Taiji Men cultural group is evident throughout the entire process, from criminal to administrative process. In my experience as a volunteer of the Alliance for Legal and Tax Reform, I was deeply impressed by the testimony of the Taiwan Control Yuan in 2017. The Control Yuan Commissioner is a doctor with public health background. Therefore, I stated at the beginning of my introduction that I also major in public health. I explained to him that our appeal was to return Taiwan to a fair and justice tax environment, as well as to work for the future of our young people. And he enthusiastically agreed. These people are like our own children, and they are concerned about whether their parents will spend money recklessly. The Control Yuan Commissioner posted a photo of the day when we met and we present on his Facebook page and shared the appeal for us. He also urged that the tax system should be fair and be efficient. Last year, in 2020, the National Human Rights Commission of Control Yuan was established, and President Tsai said in the opening ceremony that the National Human Rights Commission should be all citizens' conscience and should promote the guarantee of human rights. The president of Control Yuan Cheng also said that it is not the Control Yuan that attract me, but the commission. She hopes to return to public original intention of enabling people to live without fear. The words really touched me. However, I'd like to point out that the Taiji Men case, a major human rights protection case, which has been listed by the Control Yuan as part of the third report on human rights protection work, has still remained unsolved still now and even more than 25 years. So, how can you say that you are defending Taiwan's human rights? Did you hear people crying? The Control Yuan has investigated Taiji Men case twice and found the concrete evidence of both Prosecutor Ho and the National Tax Bureau's major violation of law in Taiji Men case. In 2002, the Control Yuan conducted a thorough investigation into Ho Kuan-ren for 8 serious violations and forwarded him into the Ministry of Justice for further investigation and accountability. However, the Ministry of Justice ignored the investigation documents, and instead of being punished, now Ho Kuan-ren has been promoted to Deputy Director of Integrity. In 2009, the Control Yuan conducted a second investigation and found that the National Tax Bureau has failed to identify the essence of the income of required by its duties, as well as 7 other violations. What's more, it received the bonus on August 21, 2020, when it worked with the Administrative Executive Office to forcibly auction off the land of Taiji Men and illegally nationalize it. Therefore, I would like to call on the National Human Rights Commission here. The first thing to do is to immediately solve the Taiji Men case, dismiss the illegal officials, return justice and fair tax system to the people, and let the Control Yuan to truly become people's conscience so that Taiwan people can live without fear. Finally, although Taiwan is currently facing many problems, the living environment is being roughly ravaged by COVID-19. Most importantly, the democracy we are most proud of has been undermined by a few unscrupulous officials from the National Tax Bureau and the Enforcement Agency. My Shifu Dr. Hong Daozi has told us the solution and stated, there is another option in the face of current difficulties and challenges, and the option is conscience. Global citizenship is based on the value of conscience. It has the ability to distinguish between right and wrong, true and false, good and bad, and to foster sincere humanity in order to improve the well-being of humanity. Consequently, I believe that putting conscience into practice is not as difficult as we think. As my grandmother once said, conscience is simply doing good deeds and don't do bad things. When we unite together, put down our prejudice, put down our positions, and face all problems honestly, Taiwan will definitely change for each of our efforts to turn this predicament into the beautiful environment we yearn for. Thank you.
Thanks for Claire's sharing. As Claire said, conscience is the core value of work citizens, and conscience means doing good things. Stop doing the bad things. If everyone can start from one individual, upholding their conscience and doing good deeds well, then the world will be better and better. Next, we invite Emily. She is now a third grade college student. Welcome.
Hello everyone, I'm Emily. I'm now a university student. Besides, I have another special identity. I'm also a Taiji Men. Taiji Men is the place where I grew up, my second home, with many brothers and sisters growing up with me together and giving me a lot of encouragement. I remember when I was a little kid, I was too shy and introverted to talk to strangers, let alone share my thoughts in front of many people. But at Taiji Men, brothers and sisters always gave me a lot of support and opportunities. And my Shifu also taught us to be brave and confident, to learn to say yes in life. Therefore, this place made me who I am right now. However, in 1996, the Taiji Men suffered an unwarranted disaster due to a relentless crackdown. Prosecutor Ho Kwan-ren created the Rectification case, illegally investigate and search all the Taiji Men's branches in Taiwan, and used the media to smear Taiji Men, while at the same time leading the tax collector to cooperate with false testimony and falsely accusing it of tax evasion. On July 13, 2007, the Supreme Court has found that Taiji Men was guilty of fraud, tax evasion, or violation of tax laws, and even all of the innocent defendants have received the national compensation for the wrongful imprisonment in 2009. Yet, the NTB still ignored the Supreme Court's ruling and continued to issue the wrong tax bills for 6 years, from 1991 to 1996, simply based on the false indictment that had been thrown out by the criminal court. In 2019, the NTB corrected the tax bills for 5 years to zero, leaving only the 1 year 1992 tax bills, arguing that the tax penalties had been determined and the agency could not correct them on its own. This is illogical at all, because the other year's tax bill and the 1992 tax bill are essentially the same. Obviously, tax bills of the same nature and with the same evidence are gifts for 5 years. So of course, the 1992 tax bill is also a gift. Nevertheless, the NTB ignored the appeals of the court's 300 Taiwan legislators, international scholars, and human rights advocates, and continued to issue the illegal tax bill to Taiji Men, resulting the illegal auction of the Taiji Men's secret land by administrative enforcement agency and ending with the national ownership, triggering the massive street protests afterwards. I wasn't even born when the Taiji Men case happened, and the case exists even longer than my age. But from the legal and tax firms, the insights of experts and scholars, and the sharing of my brothers and sisters, and even from what I have personally felt, I know very well what a great place Taiji Men is. We are here to cultivate our bodies and mind. We are here to learn the joyfulness from the heart, and we are going out into the world to promote the Chinese culture. Why is such a positive and contributing organization being prosecuted by the government in its own country? Is Taiwan really a democratic and progressive country with an open and fair system? This is why I'm willing to stand up to change such injustice, because I can see that many people in Taiwan still uphold their conscience and do the right thing. But there are a few illegal offshore who have abused their power to persecute the people. It's time for us to stand up and tell them what they have done wrong. The voice of the people, the cry of the people, the government should not have failed to hear. I have often heard many legal and tax volunteers say that when they see the young generation step forward and speak up, they are moved and upset that there are many young people still willing to fight for the future of Taiwan, and upset that we have to carry such a heavy burden. It was sad to hear that, because if it were me, I wouldn't want my offspring to be subject to such pressure. I sincerely hope that Taiwan can become a country that implements democracy and justice under the rule of law. Now, let's watch a video to see how international scholars think about the Taiji Men case.
But why among our campaigns did we pick up Taiji Men? Because we believe Taiji Men is an internationally important case. Because here we have several typical or perhaps even stereotypical ways of discriminating against spiritual or religious groups. We have accusations of fraud and criminal prosecutions. Happily, they failed against the leader of Taiji Men, Dr. Hong, and his co-defendants. We have media campaigns of fake news against Dr. Hong and Taiji Men. He was even ridiculously accused of raising goblins. And we have something extremely important, and that is the use of taxes as a tool of discrimination and persecution. This is crucial because, in a way, taxes are clean. There is no blood on the floor, but they may destroy a spiritual movement. And this has been done against Taiji Men. So the case of Taiji Men is important not only for Taiji Men and not only for Taiwan. It is important for the world because it shows one of the main ways how rogue bureaucrats persecute innocent and even worthy religious or spiritual movements. Our readers have understood why we so much insist on Taiji Men, and we plan to continue the campaign. As one of our editors say, in this sense, in fighting persecution, we are all Taiji Men. Thank you.
Dr. Massimo Intraventon, founder and director of the Italian Center for Studies on New Religions, ever mentioned at the 2021 United Nations State Forum that the Taiji Men case is an international important case because it shows one of the main ways by which rogue bureaucrats persecute innocent people and even persecute worthy religious or spiritual groups. Now, with the gradual improvement of the epidemic in Taiwan, we hope that everyone could pay attention to the issue of legal and taxation reform, not because there is hope to persist, but because you persist to see hope at the end. Thank you all.
Thank you, Emily. Emily gets to the point. Taiji Men is a big family full of love and positive energy. Unfortunately, Taiji Men has suffered the 25-year-long both legal and tax persecution. My Shifu, Dr. Hong Daozi, always teaches us easy to distinguish right from wrong, true from false, and good from bad. If the money that should be paid, a cent cannot be less. But if money that shouldn't be paid, not even a penny. Taiji Men has insisted on doing what is right, hoping to awaken the conscience in administrative and judicial officers and uphold justice in taxation. We also hope that everyone can pay more attention to legal and tax reform issues. As Emily said, it's not because there is hope to persist, but because you persist to see hope at the end. Finally, we invited Ashley to share with us Welcome, Ashley.
Hi. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ashley. I'm now a 20-year-old college student. According to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we're all born entitled to enjoy all rights and freedoms without distinctions of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. I major in special education. In the field I have come across, even a student with special needs, no matter is physically or mentally handicapped, he or she still has the same rights. They definitely can receive education and needs to be treated with respect. Human rights are not just written words on paper or in legal provisions, but must be truly implemented and acted upon. But do you know that in the country where I grew up, Taiwan, a country that claims to be democratic and free, the government has been bullying the people for a long time. The legal and tax environment in Taiwan is totally unsatisfactory. Many citizens in Taiwan, when they receive the wrong or unreasonable tax bills because of the problems with the administrative remedy system in Taiwan, they are forced to compromise to pay the tax bill more or less. As a result, some of them even suffer from depression or cancer due to the long-term physical and financial stress caused by receiving unjustified tax bills. Some people even pass away before the day of indication. And one of the most representative indicated cases is the Taiji Men fabricated tax case, a case that has been delayed for 25 years. So let me explain to you this Taiji Men case that started in the year 1997. In year 1997, prosecutor Hou Kuan-ren created a fabricated case and abused his power to prosecute Taiji Men, resulting in countless negative criticisms against Taiji Men Shifu and Dizi. Even though the Supreme Court had already ruled on July 13, 2007, that Taiji Men was not guilty and did not owe taxes. However, the National Taxation Bureau, NTB, still insisted that the court's ruling did not count. Because of this, Taiji Men has suffered from the unjustified tax bills by the NTB for 25 years. The more ridiculous was that the Administrative Enforcement Agency even legally or reasonably forced the auction of the Taiji Men sacrolit and took it into national ownership. Can you even conceive of this chaotic trials? It's just like an ancient monarchy, an autocratic and dictatorial system where the king and emperor have to have the say. And moreover, the NTB has not only issued tax bills without investigation, but also shifted the burden of proof to the people. When people have doubts about the tax bills, they have to prove the facts themselves. Do you think this is reasonable? Do you think it is acceptable? If such a group with tens of thousands of people has been struggling for 25 years and still cannot receive justice, then I can tell that Taiji Men is definitely not the case. It is hard for me to imagine what can other families or individuals do when they receive the same unreasonable tax bill. Although I'm still studying college, haven't entered the society yet, but when I notice that the environment when I'm in has been such a serious problem for a long time, I really feel sad and disappointed. But something that makes me feel hopeful is that I've recently seen a group of volunteers from the Alliance of Legal Tax Reform who wears yellow undershirts promoting legal and tax knowledge to the public in various places throughout Taiwan. They spend their leisure time and try their best to contribute to the society. No matter it is sunny or rainy, they stand on the streets, carrying out the street proclamation activities, and such perseverance not only attracts but touches the pedestrians who pass by them. Many scholars have stand out to speak for Taiji Men tax case. They can hardly imagine that such a thing could happen in Taiwan, and they emphasize that if such a system cannot change, there is no way to implement human rights in Taiwan. Moreover, more professors and tax professionals have pointed out that Taiji Men tax case is just like a demon detector for the tax laws, purely and cruelly reflecting at many irrationalities of the NTB administrative system and how public officials have lost their conscience. However, I wanted to say is that change is not that difficult. Each of us has the possibility to become the one who dominates, as long as we remember to uphold our love and conscience. Without love, there is no peace. Peace needs love. Love needs to be balanced. I believe the world will become a better place if more and more people are aware of the importance of conscience. The persecution cases will be fewer and fewer. I sincerely hope the ruling team of the government can understand the hearts of the people and set things right. What Professor Taiji Men said about transitional justice is not just slogans. Those in power must live up their words in order to truly give the people a home to live and work in. The importance of love, peace, democracy, and conscience should not be underestimated. We should all do our best to be the force of change and stand up together, hoping that the chaotic situation and tax laws in Taiwan can be reformed and that the legal acts of some government officials can be told to the people in every corner in Taiwan. We have the rights and obligation to stand up together. Let's work together to make our homeland, Taiwan, a better place. The above is my sharing. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Ashley, for sharing your thoughts. I have seen volunteers from the Alliance for Legal and Tax Reform wearing yellow vests all over Taiwan lately, covering the information about taxation and its current situation, for making a change in Taiwan's unfair justice and taxation systems. I agree with what Ashley said. Actually, change is not that difficult. Each of us has the possibility to become the one who dominates, and we must remember to uphold love and conscience. Conscience is a gift that comes from nature, which calls to us in our heart to uphold justice and fairness, to speak and act with conscience, and to exert the influence of godliness. If you have a choice, do you want to be influenced by the world, or do you want to influence the world? Here we sincerely appeal. Please believe that when the majority of people follow their conscience and are committed to spreading love, the world can achieve peace. At the end of today's talk, we would like to share with you a video called Flame of Heart, which was made by 4 university students in which the young people talk about a sense of justice. I think that why we're all here today, because I believe that all of you online also hope the world to get better and better, to stand up for the future together. So at the end, let's watch this video together.
正义感是心中时刻燃烧不灭的火苗。害怕烫伤的我们，正因畏惧批判或事不关己，将它在心中的角落搁置。但它一直都在，一样炙热，一样耀眼，只等着我们放开心胸触碰。习惯待在舒适又凉快影子里的我们，是不是该是时候踏出那一步了？重返阳光，让人性和良知引领我们，停止抗拒心中那份引力。那与生俱来的良知和脸颊上的热泪是不会骗人的。当心中的磁铁连接在一起，就会产生更大的磁场力量。呵护着心里的火苗，是为了在对的时机点让正义得以伸张。不要怕，他人吹熄烈火的尝试能成为助燃的氧气。更要记得，星星之火得以燎原。
保护，我们绝不退缩。